Joe, he calls me and say, we gonna whoop y'all ass.
Trey got fans everywhere. He's just a good dude, man. And my brother, I love my brother. And I'm happy that my brother got in that thing because it was well deserved. And then he did that for the game of football.
You was on the smoker.
Yep. Yeah.
Listen to Fat Pat.
Yeah. Gonna be a baller. Yes, I call on. I called it quits because I just wasn't willing to be a part of this new era of football. I leave it up to them because it's new football that I had no idea what it was, you know.
You still got your barbecue sauce?
Man, look here. I got a barbecue sauce about to come out in 2025, baby boy. It'll blow your head off.
Okay. Me and you came in, recruited the same class at the University of Miami. Is this true you used to return kickoffs in high school?
Yeah, I used to. Man, I played every position in high school. Honestly, I kicked. First position I learned how to do was long snap, because I had an offensive line coach. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to long snap because if you know how to long snap, you'll always have a job." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So he taught me how to long snap, and from there, man, I played every position defensively, offensively, special teams. I returned kicks, but there's one position I would never play, and it was center. I tried it. I swear. To me, being a center, like, that was the hardest because you got to snap the ball and you have to
be able to react.
Man, the kid hit me so hard, snapping the ball one day, I just walked off. I'm like, I'm never doing this no more. And I never played center again, but everything else I did. And running back, running back is another one. Like I was always a big dude. I had skills. And so I was like, man, let me run the ball. So my coach was like, okay, we'll give you a 4 downs at the 10. I'm like, cool, I did first down, I picked up like 4. Second down, I picked up like 2. Third down came, I get it down to the goal line, right? So I'm like, man, it's good. I remember a guy, he's a good friend of mine today. His name is Luke. We call him Little Luke. Luke was probably 5'6", 140 pounds. When I tell you that was the hardest I ever been hit in my life. I'm talking about, he hit me so hard on the goal line.
5'6", 140?
5'6", 140, and he's still 5'6" to this day. Let me tell you something.
Little tank game.
Man, he hit me so hard. And I was like, you know what? I always respected a running back position after that. I wasn't afraid to run the ball, but I'm like, man, for a running back to get hit all the time like that, no, not my cup of tea. I'd rather be doing the hitting. So I stuck to D-line, baby. And
it worked all
right for me. I did all right for myself.
Yeah. You remember, like, when we used to have our games the day before the game at the University of Miami when we would be out on the field?
Yep.
Bro used to have me dying laughing because Joe, he would sit over there and, like, he would have the trainers or, like, the equipment dudes, and he would be the quarterback, and he would be designing plays for them to run on the field. Bro, it was like the most entertaining thing to ever see. But I always tell people, like, because they'll ask, people ask about you and stuff like that. Bro, you have to probably be one of the most, as far as size and athletic ability, you have to be probably one of the most athletic guys that I played with. Yeah, like it was crazy, and it was just a joy to watch, man. Just to watch you. So,
well, the thing with that, Dre, is I never consider myself, a big dude. You know what I mean? I played all the sports. I played basketball, football, threw the shot put. So in my mind, I was just the same size as everybody else. You know, and I think growing up over time, playing with younger guys and older guys that's a lot smaller than me, I never felt sorry for myself. Like, hey, if I have to cover this guy, I got to cover this guy. Or if I have to, throw the ball, I got to throw the ball. So I think that helped me growing up, being able to do all those sports and play with all those other guys. Like, ain't nobody feel sorry for me. So my mindset was always, I would never play my size. You know what I mean? I'm going to always bring a dynamic to my game that when somebody see me play, they're like, damn, like, yeah, this Joe, he legit. Like, if it's his footwork or if it's my size and me being able to move or make this type of play or do this and do that, I always consider myself a smaller guy, even though I wasn't. But in my mind, I had to trick myself, right? So I had to trick myself and say, hey, you just like them. You know what I mean? You 230 pounds, not 330. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Piggyback on it, man. You know, I only played with you a few years here, but, like, I just always remember watching from afar. But like Dre said, if I had to just put two people in my mind, like, you know, they always talk about Larry Allen. You know, obviously your time coming up where you're going to get your shine and get your enshrinement. But y'all two have to be the most big athletic guys. And I, you know, watching you with the Patriots, catch the interception running down the field. But I got to watch you in practice. Yeah. I got to watch the film, and I got to actually see what you're thinking and what's going on. If it's a screen, you don't take the step and you read and react. But you chase the ball 20 yards, and when you get there, you got enough ability to break down and throw a shot and make a tackle. Damn. What's going on? So for me, like Dre said, you got to be somewhere at the top when it comes to athletic ability. You can do a pull-up. You can do multiple pull-ups. I done seen you do everything. And you really cat quick.
Yeah.
You know, that get off, the first 5, that first 10, you right there with anybody.
Yes, sir.
And people that don't understand football, that's all it takes for a guy your size. And that will make you special, man.
And I appreciate that, man. But like I said, you know, when I played the game, I always played it with a, you know, chip on my shoulder. And I always want to be great. And I always tell people, it's like, you can't be great if you don't take risks. And that's in life. Like, there's nobody that considers themselves great that never took a risk. And, you know, me being in, you know, high school and college, I was a penetrating defensive lineman. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody drafting no nose tackle that's a two-gapper first round. Like, no, I got drafted off of my ability of what I could do, and that was being a penetrator, right? So I get to New England, I had to learn how to two-gap. Like, it was new to me. I had no idea what it was. And once I learned it.
And to be clear, most people hate two-gapping.
I hate two-gapping. Hate it. Like, I hated it. And I'm like, man, what the? I'm like, man, look, because, you know, here, I'm used to hitting and getting it. Let's go. TFL, tackles. Like, man, look here.
You had to sacrifice a little bit.
Man, I had to sacrifice, you know. So it took me I got it in my third year because I was young, right? I'm coming from that background of the Warren Sapp, Cortez Kennan, Jerome Brown, Russell Maryland, University of Miami. I depth at defensive tackle. Like, we are defensive tackle, right? And here I am. I got to learn how to two-gap. What's that? You have to sit right here and take this block. What? I got to do, man, nah, you got me effed up, Bill. I ain't doing that. Man, look here, man, you ain't draft me to come. Like, man, you ain't see these highlights I had in? You ain't see how I was snapping people next, man, and you want me to sit at this line of scrimmage and do what? I said, man, you crazy, man. You got me messed up. And it took a while for me to get in my head, like, listen, this is who you are now. Like, they drafted me first round. They drafted me because Ted Washington was there. They got rid of Ted Washington, and here I come. And also, on top of that, they coming off a Super Bowl win, right, here in Houston, right, against Carolina. So they first picked, they picked me. So I had to really adjust my mindset. And I had to really understand what it is to be a professional at that time. And I say my third year, I finally got it. And when I got it, I started liking it because that position, you know, man, y'all know the game, it's an unselfish position. Like, I don't get no accolades. I don't make no plays. I don't do this. I don't do that. But it goes back to be great. You have to make some risk, take some risk. And I took some risk. And the risk I took, you know, I made big plays at that position. And, you know, the plays I made is like you don't see a nose tackle, that two-gap, going to make that play. And I've always wanted to learn everything about my defense, where my safety help is, offensively, what motion does what. So I became a student of the game. So now I know if I have rotation in back of me, I know where he's at. And if I get a check, I already know, okay, my help is here. So I know the ball going here, so I'm moving my line. Hey, do this, blah. Crazy, man. You got me messed up. And it took a while for me to get in my head, like, listen, this is who you are now. Like, they drafted me first round. They drafted me because Ted Washington was there. They got rid of Ted Washington, and here I come. And also, on top of that, they coming off a Super Bowl win, right, here in Houston, right, against Carolina. So they first picked, they picked me. So I had to really adjust my mindset, and I had to really understand what it is to be a professional at that time. And I say my 3rd year, I finally got it. And when I got it, I started liking it because that position, man, y'all know the game is. It's an unselfish position. Like, I don't get no accolades. I don't make no plays. I don't do this. I don't do that. But it goes back to be great. You have to make some risk, take some risks. And I took some risks, and the risk I took, I made big plays at that position. And, the plays I made is like you don't see a nose tackle, that 2-gap going to make that play. And I've always wanted to learn everything about my defense, where my safety help is, offensively, what motion does what. So I became a student of the game. So now I know if I have rotation in back of me, I know where he's at. And if I get a check, I already know, okay, my help is here. So I know the ball going here. So I'm moving my line. Hey, do this, blah. Those was a luxury Bill gave me once he saw how I was a student of the game, because it wasn't just about being a nose tackle. It was about what everybody else doing around me. So I used to steal plays all the time. That was my thing. I was like, I'm going to go in this game. I will do the film work, though, Joe.
Hey, I got this tendency. I got to go.
I got it. Hey, if I get this, if I get this, I'm gone. Now, if it ain't what it is, I can get cursed out. But I'm gonna make more than that. I'm gonna make more plays than not, because my film study. You know what I mean?
And
just like that interception.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That interception, I said to myself, okay, here we are in the middle of the field. If this center steps like this, I'm gone. And he stepped a certain type of way, which I thought was screen, and I said, I'm gone. And happened to be in the throwing lane of Rivers for the pick. But my whole thought process was what he gives me. You see what I'm saying? I never took any risk without doing study and saying, I'm just going to be an a-hole. And I never did that. Everything I took. And then it got to a point where I didn't want to take him no more. I was like, I'll allow somebody else to take him. So I remember a play when I came here in Houston, and JJ. And JJ, JJ was known for getting at the quarterback. So I told JJ, I said, hey, I will give you a green or a red. I said, if I give you a green, just go. Don't play no technique, just go. All right? And it was against the Colts, I believe. And I said, Colts or the Titans. And I seen something. I said, JJ Green. And JJ got it. It was a sack fumble, script. So I took pleasure in my teammates eating. I had a great group of teammates here in Houston and in New England that I played with. And, I cherish that stuff, man. And I cherish it to the moon, because it's a lot of people that can't say they never had a bad teammate. I had one bad teammate in my whole career, and I'm not going to mention him. One, he was in New England. And it ain't what people think it is either. It's not Aaron. I loved Aaron. Aaron was one of my best teammates. But out of all the football I played and out of all the teams I played and the people coming in and out, I only had one bad teammate, you know what I mean? And I cherish that brotherhood, you know what I mean? The stories that we can sit back and we could talk about.
Just hearing you talk about like your film study and all that stuff, right? I don't know if you remember this. We played y'all, I think, in 2010. Joe, he calls me and say, we gonna whoop y'all ass. I get a phone call. I say, big bitch. He tells me, he said, we gonna whoop y'all ass. Yeah. He said, you might get about 7 to 8 catches. He said, but Aaron ain't doing shit. That's how the phone call went. So I'm like, all right, I just heard the phone up. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
So the other part of it is we walk in the stadium, and I got my headphones on, but I normally like put my headphones a little to the side so I can hear, if somebody called me, and I hear somebody say, yo, it's him. You remember what I told you on that phone the other night, right? But the crazy thing with that situation was, I never forgot, I think Arian had like about a 12-yard run the first play of the game. Mm-hmm. They called timeout. Like, as soon as it happened, they called timeout. Nothing else ever happened the rest of the game.
Some straightening was on quick.
Yeah, quick. Let me ask you this. What about, I know the whole Patriot thing, like, people say, oh, they cheaters, this, that, and the other. I feel like y'all was just great, man.
Yeah.
Y'all had a hell of a run, like, especially in my time and playing in the NFL. What was it about the Patriots, the organization, that made things just run the way they did? Like, what was that greatness about?
It was spearheaded by Bill. Bill, his background is military, and he was tough, and it was, when I tell you we practiced every little single detail, we had 3 or 4 walkthroughs, then we go to practice, and then we come in and film, and if we need another walkthrough, we going back out the walkthrough. And I remember being a rookie, and he would go over situational football, right? And here I am, I'm a rookie. I thought I knew football. I'm like, man, this ain't gonna happen, man. This man ain't wasting my time, right? This ain't gonna happen. And sure enough, the same situation that he talked about, it popped up, and it was about a fumble. If it's in the end zone, what to do. If it's not in the end zone, what to do. If it's by the sideline, what to do. And I'm like, man, whatever. And it happened. And I'm like, oh, I better start taking this man a little serious. So I think it was all about his mindset on what it takes to win. He never took it easy on us. Right. He never took it easy on us. And he would grill us, and he would grill us, and then he would come into the meetings and he'd ask questions. It ain't going home and not opening up this playbook. Like, no, you for the study. He gonna force you to study, you know what I mean? And as a rookie, that's how I learned how to study film. That's how I learned how to understand offense. We had to know quarterback actions. We had to know all the motions, what they are. If it's a 218, if it's 338s, if it's 5, all those series, we had to know as defensive linemen. So he was teaching us the game of football from an offensive side, but I'm a defensive lineman. So when I get in the game and I hear 5, such and such, oh, that's screen. Or if I see a zing motion, I'm like, okay, zing motion, they like do this. Or if it's 1st and 10 and they hear, oh, this shot alert, we're gonna do all of this. So I think it was everything about the little details that he taught and he always presented to us, and he just kept his foot on our neck, and I think not only that, it was the players that he had around. We had them, Vrabel, we had Tom, we had Rodney Harris, and we had Ty Law, Willie McGinnis, Seymour. Like, we had all these guys that's been in the game, and they knew the game, and they ain't let up. So Bill didn't even have to say much. It was, when we take the field, it's them talking. It's Vrabel talking. It's Rodney talking. And Rodney would come down into me and say, hey, man, you better such and such. Yes, sir, let's do it. So I think what he built was based off of, he knew what he had. He brung in the right guys, and they understood what he was trying to do. And it took care of itself, you know what I mean? So I think it all came down to like little details of just understanding, putting guys around that understand what it takes to win,
I think to piggyback off of that, I think just to fast forward a little bit to like today's culture, you see how like some of the stuff going on, obviously guys with the podcasts and things like that. What's the difference you think in times now and times compared to when we was playing football from the locker room, just from the outside in? Man, and you got a little bit on the back end of your career.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that forced me to retire, honestly, because I started seeing the game trend in a direction that I wasn't used to. And I think now, guys pay so much attention to outside than what they're really there for. Everybody want to be a model, a rapper, this, whatever it may be. That's what they want to be. They walk in, they get mad if you don't take pictures of them so you can post them what they're wearing, like that. Right. And it takes away from the game. So if you have a guy mindset is they worrying about what they're wearing, like how can they be focused on, how can you be focused on what we're here for? You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just like the game of football done got soft in the aspect of guys really not taking it serious of what the game was built on. Like, we never had no phones in meeting rooms. I can go to a meeting now, and I have been in, some meetings, and I see half of the team got phones in the meeting room. It's a distraction. The game of football now, these kids, it's a bunch of distraction going on in these kids' head and their mind, and they have no clue because society is allowing them. And, you have so many rules now, like, it just takes away from the game. You could tell teams that really put that work in, like, this is how we're going to play. You can tell those teams. You can tell those teams that they ain't for to put up with no bull crap. Either you gonna play football or not. However you slice it. You can tell those teams, but I think it's too much distractions now with these players with phones and social media and so much stuff outside of footballs when they enter this building. Instead of them saying, okay, I'm here to work, this phone standing is locked until it's time to go home. They sitting here saying, hey, man, when I'm finished, man, I can't wait to go do this. Like, your mind shouldn't have even be on what's going to happen after this, you know what I mean? So it's just a different era, you know, in the game. And I think I had the luxury to see both sides. Like you said, you know, my last couple of years, I started seeing, like, nah, man, I don't rock like that. Like, it's not my cup of tea. And I always promise myself, and I promise the game, I say, you know, when a game become a different fit for me, it's time for me to go. You know, I never wanted to disrespect the game. I never wanted to cash a check just because I could. And I called it quits because I just wasn't willing to be a part of this new era of football. I leave it up to them because it's new football that I had no idea what it was, you know.
Remember when y'all beat Seattle in that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Malcolm made the play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know y'all practice it way more than us, but we got Bill O'Brien. Every Friday we ran those pick routes just to see him. Pick routes, pick routes, pick routes. And when Malcolm made that play, everybody going crazy, but I knew exactly why he made that play. Because y'all were up there every Friday in practice, whether he was a backup or a starter.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what was coming, and that play was beating everybody.
Yeah.
So to me, that told me, like, and I went in y'all beat, I'm like, they prepared every time they hit that field for every situation.
Yeah, in practice, it was swap. It was on the other side. And they didn't get a jam, it was a touchdown. And I remember Bill getting on me in the meeting room. He got on him. In the Super Bowl, it was on the opposite side. And they realized it, Brown, and he realized it, got up, jammed the point man, and allowed Malcolm to get over. And that was just a hell of a play. I mean, because 9 out of 10 times, that's an incomplete pass or, whatever, you know. So that was just a great football play. Me, beast mode 4 times. However you slice it. I don't give a damn. Beast mode 4 times.
No matter how many in the box.
I don't care how many in the box. He can have 15 in the box. I'm handing it to him. For an inch? Nah, man, you got me up. He's getting the ball. But I'm glad he didn't. But at the end of the day, you know, when you get in the Super Bowl, when you have the best 2 teams, because a lot of times, not the best the two best teams don't always play in that game. You know what I mean? But when you get the best 2 teams in the league to play the game, margin of error is very slim. You know what I mean? So it's a chess match now. You know what I mean? Now it's coaching versus coaching, it's players versus players, you know, because it's not going to be a lot of mistakes made. You know what I'm saying? So we had a package that we sent big guys on the field, and I think Seattle thought we was going goal line. See, we gave the illusion it was goal line, but we had 3 corners in the game. So we can cover anything. So I think when they saw that, and it was second down, it was like, okay, here's our chance to throw the ball. Because however you slice it, if they ran the ball, somebody was free.
Right.
You just couldn't block all of us.
Right.
And I think that's what they kind of felt when they saw the big guys running on. But little do they know, we had goal line 3 corners, which we had an extra body, but we still had 3 corners to cover whatever we need to cover. So, like I said, those details like that. You know, a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand how much that goes into planning, like game planning, and like. You talking about the Super Bowl, you know, they down in the red area, they score, it's going to be tough for us, right? Even though we got Tom over there, but it's still, they go up, it's a Super Bowl. So those moments, man, and people just fail to realize how hard it is for one to win. To win, to win, it's hard. And to win Super Bowl, it's a much harder because you have so much against you. You know, it's like, man, one mistake can cost you a game. You can go the whole game playing great football, but one mistake can cost you a Super Bowl. However you slice it. In Seattle, I don't think it was a mistake. I say it was a mistake because they should have handed the ball off. But second down throwing the ball, I don't think that was a mistake. Now, you could take it however you want to take it, but I don't blame them for taking the shot because they knew. If they got third down, we knew they're going to change their package. I knew that. You know, we knew that. But second down, that was like a 50-50. Like, okay, here's our chance to catch them off. Yeah, take a chance. So
third, second down,
but like I said,
take a shot.
It's like even with that play should have been incomplete. However you slice it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's an incompletion play. But it was intercepted. One of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history. I get it, but the margin of error to win the Super Bowl, man, It's very slim. And I've been part of the winning part and been part of the losing part. I've been on both sides. So losing sucks. You don't want that feeling. Trust me, man. I'd rather be at home not playing the Super Bowl than playing in the Super Bowl and losing. I would, because
That's crazy.
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's crazy you say that, man. Like, cause I never had the chance to experience it.
Yeah.
But I would love to be in the Super Bowl, win or lose.
Win or lose.
But
Give me a chance. Give me a chance.
At the end of the day, just give me a shot.
Yeah, give you a shot. Yeah, all
Give
you
me
want a shot.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's
I
get what you're saying,
Yeah.
and absolutely, Super Bowl is an experience that you can't explain to people. You know what I mean? I tell people, they always ask me, how do it feel? I can't explain it to you because you're talking about the top of all sports. There's no sports bigger than the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. You could take Kentucky Derby, best 2 minutes in sports history, but when you talk about a game, there's nothing best because guess what? Basketball, you got 7 games. Baseball, you got series.
Right.
But football is
you got
one game. And that's American sport. Like, that's everybody watching that game.
Make no mistakes.
You can't make no mistakes. So it's like, man, to lose it, man, to walk off that field and have other people confetti hit you, boy. Boy. Like,
Got to take it on the chin.
you have to take it on the chin, but it sucks, though. It sucks, though, but
University of Miami.
that's right.
What would you? Because people always ask me all the time. They always be like, "Man, how was it? Y'all was, y'all had all these guys."
Yeah.
And I always tell them, "Man, I don't really think you could put that into words."
Yeah.
Because it was just so much I experienced there. I always tell people those were probably like the best days of my life, with the talent we were surrounded around with and just the things we did together as a team.
Yeah.
So how would you talk about that a little bit to just kind of let people know like what that experience was like for you?
Man, it's like, best I can explain, how I can explain it is, basically you got, say, 50 brothers. Like, and you hang out every day, you do what you love every day, you love each other, you do everything together. Like 50 brothers. And everything you do is good. Like, it's like you successful in everything you do. No matter what you choose to do, you're successful, right? But like you said, Dre, it's so hard to put it into words, though. Yeah. It's like that culture that we have. And I tell this to anybody that want to hear. Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, whoever you, USC, any one of you clowns out there, I'll tell you this straight up. It ain't no university and brotherhood like the University of Miami, period. I don't care how many times you want to get together and it doesn't matter. The University of Miami, what we have down there, you can't replace it. You can't duplicate it. It's just something about the South being a hurricane, and it's just something about it.
I feel like you don't have to be around these guys for years.
Yeah.
And when you get around them,
It's like you
it's
talked
like you
yesterday.
talked to them yesterday.
Yeah, talk to them yesterday. But that's what I'm saying. No college have that. Nobody. I don't care what they try to say. Nobody has that. LSU, nobody. Yeah. Nobody have the camaraderie we have. And to put a cherry on top of that, nobody have the careers that we had. Just look at the list, the longevity, the Super Bowl wins, the All-Pros, you name it, go look at the list.
Yeah, you can't.
And you're talking about 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years in the league at a high level. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Yeah. You don't have that. We're a different breed. Stop that. Any college, I don't care who you are, stop it. You can't amount, it's hurricanes and everybody else. I don't care damn how long we've been bad. I don't care. Proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying?
They always bring up that LSU team.
Man, Peter Scram, man.
They was talented, but they
couldn't touch. They wouldn't be able to touch us, man. Like,
I got in I had an argument the other day with someone, and they was bringing up the LSU team, and I was like, bro, do you realize we had 17 first rounders?
Come on with it, man.
Team?
One team.
30-something guys got drafted.
Dre, do they realize the depth we had? Do they understand that?
I don't even want to go in that.
Come on, dude.
Sean Taylor.
Come on, man.
Frank, Roscoe all sitting. They ain't even touching
Sitting, bro. Sitting, like, man, cut that out, man. Joe Burrow would have got a head peeled. I'm trying to tell you now. You got a head peeled. He wouldn't be able to get the ball off. But then, who you throwing? Like, you throwing it to we got anybody to match up. You ain't gonna beat us physically. You ain't gonna out talk us. You ain't gonna out hustle because you know Swayze has on point. You ain't gonna out hustle. We're not gonna get tired.
Yeah,
We're not gonna do that, man. It's a different.
You know who
breed.
a dude from that team that I feel like don't get enough talked about? He obviously played and did his thing, but Vilma.
Yeah.
Vilma.
Look here.
Hey,
Let me tell you something, boy.
Sweet chin music.
Man, just put on the Rose Bowl when he knocked out 2 people back to back in the last quarters. Just put it on.
Sweet chin music.
Oh, come on, man. That was my linebacker. Come on, man. Like, we knocking people heads loose. Like, that's what it is, man. We probably wouldn't be able to play because we done got 15 yards and kicked out.
Right.
We were too physical.
Today's
Yeah,
game.
we've been too physical,
Been
bro.
too much targeting.
Too much targeting, knocking people heads loose. Think about it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a college out there that can amount to who we are, man, and what we've done. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, we building a residence in Canton too.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said, however you want to slice it, however you want. However you want to
It's
do
loaded. It's loaded.
it. And the one thing I love about us is the durability and the years. It ain't 6, 7 years, and we in double digits.
Yeah.
We in double digits. Like, if you, Frank, look at Frank. Calais Campbell still going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many Ray played? Dre, how many you played?
14.
I played 13.
All right.
Vilma played 11.
Yeah.
All right? I'm missing a bunch of people. EJ.
Reed.
Reed.
Shock.
Come on, dude. Like, the longevity we have at a high level, even back in the SAP.
Edge.
Come on, dude. Like, bro,
10.
we do this for a long time.
Keep going.
You see, we can keep going.
Keep
We can
going.
tell me when to stop. You see what I'm saying? But we do it at a high level for so long. It ain't too many people saying that. And
Reggie.
then, like you said, we're going to have
Reggie.
Reggie free. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like, we do this. That's the one of the things I'm proud of the most, and I can hang my hat on when I talk about the Hurricanes, is the longevity at a high level. Like, it is what it is. However you want to slice it, just go. And then, like you said, that residence they building down there. See, I'm the last of the Mohicans standing, and I'm a realist. I'm a nose tackle, so I don't even know what that's going to be. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't my problem.
Well, I tell you this, you deserve to be in there.
deserve it.
Yeah, I
You
do.
gonna
But
get
you
in
know,
there for
at the
sure.
end of the day, I'm cool because there ain't no team I played against I wasn't in they play in a scheme.
They had that jersey on over there.
I was in that scheme. It ain't no offense I played against that I wasn't in their game plan. None. And not only was I in the game plan, they didn't know where I was going to be. They didn't know. Like, yeah, I'm a nose tackle, but I can be a defensive end. And then the next play, I can be on the other side, defensive end. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with all that, but I'm happy with the fact that we got Frank coming down, Reggie coming down, Calais coming down.
Yeah.
We just got Hester in.
Yeah.
All right. It's coming down the pipe.
Yeah. You be somewhere in the mix.
I'm the
between
one with
that.
the question mark. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we still coming down the pipe.
And when you throw them names out, take yourself back to a young Dre when you first seen him at Miami. You can remember that. Just the first time you seen him with all the talent. Like, what stood out?
His size and speed. See, that's the thing. Like,
And that's hard to do with all that down.
man, bro. When I first saw Dre, I seen how big he was and how fast. I'm like, man, what are we doing? Like, for real. And then, you know, you got Sean Taylor coming, like, his size and speed. What we had, and then don't forget, Frank Gore was the third running back. He had Clinton, Willis.
Najee.
He's not, like, bro, he was the third, and tore his knees up, right?
Yeah.
Frank. So when you go down the list and DJ,
Yeah.
like,
He was
he's
a fullback his first year.
bro, do you understand? Running like a foot.
He was a fullback. They moved him linebacker.
Bro, like, when I saw Dre, I'm like, that's a receiver?
The end.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to be on the edge. Come on, let me teach you how to do the slap rip, baby. You know what I mean? But that's the specialty about us being down there. And one thing I always love too is people don't understand. It's like we used to get up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning workout. I remember, you know, Andrew Swayze. He had a workout group at 6 o'clock. The majority of the time is skill positions, but I would go. Santonio Thomas, we would go. Like a couple of D linemen, we would go. You think he cared that we came? If we run at 200s, we'd run at 200s in this time.
Yeah.
And then what he would do, we'll have 8, 10 200s, and he'll put us as the rabbit the last couple. You got this time to make. The team and the camaraderie we built. Like, I didn't want to let Dre down. I didn't want to let Reed down. I didn't want to let these guys down. So guess what? I got the buckle, let's go. I came here at 6 o'clock. You better start running. It's the fastest I've ever been in my life.
Hey, it's funny you bring those workouts up, man. Them, man.
It's crazy, Dre.
Them workouts we made it fun because we competed to make it fun, but them was tough. I don't think a lot of people could have, did them workouts. Like, we had y'all running 200s.
That's what I'm saying.
They ain't supposed to be.
You remember the big circuit, Dre?
Yeah.
Oh, man, get out of here,
We had a big circuit. It was an hour and a half of running. Straight running the whole time.
Straight running. You ain't break. It ain't no break.
Hour and a half, but just
If
running.
you don't want to play football, you ain't gonna be there.
Man, look here. You don't. But Dre said it right. Like, we didn't care.
They kept it going.
Yeah.
Andrew Swayze, let me tell you something about him. He said something to me when I was a young rookie in college. We was running one day, and he had us running some 110s. I mean, we were probably like on 18 or whatever we did, right? And he said, y'all tired? Of course, it's a trick question. Nobody want to answer, you know what I mean? And he said, just because you're breathing hard doesn't mean you're tired. You know how much that stuck with me? And it clicked at me. I'm like, he right. Because he was like, I trained y'all. I know what y'all can do. I trained y'all. This ain't nothing for y'all.
Yeah. He used to say that all the time.
But the mind frame and the mindset where it put me, bro, I took that to the rest of my career. When I started breathing heavy, I ain't tired. I trained for this. Like, man, look, I've learned that when I was in college. But we competed with everything. It didn't matter what we did. I don't care if he started it over. We were still going to compete. It don't matter. But he knew that too, though. So he used to throw stuff at us that he know we ain't going to complain about. We were just going to do it. And we're going to laugh at him. Man, this all you got for us?
Yeah.
That would piss him off.
Yeah,
That's all you got for us? Yeah, he's a hate
Right.
that. That's all you got for us? Man, look here. Get this mess out of here, man. But, it's nothing like the camaraderie we have.
That's where you build it at.
Yeah.
You see who in there with you, who doing it with you.
Like I said, I never want to let any of my teammates down because how can I demand something from somebody when they can't demand it from me?
I was gonna ask y'all because y'all both did it. You won the 60 indoor 60 when you was at Miami.
Yeah.
And you shot put, right?
Yeah, shot put.
What encouraged y'all? Because I know there's a lot of other football guys that ran tracks on the track team too.
Man. I got so many stories I could tell. Bro, when they told us about you coming on, remember we was in Notre Dame?
Yep. First time ever seeing snow.
Hey, Vince is walking around with his jacket on, right? He has a black leather jacket on. And he got his hands inside the jacket, but he got the jacket zipped up. Porter's run full speed, Joe. And scoots him and slams him in the snow. Vince is on the ground rolling. He can't get up because his arms locked.
Like that Christmas movie, man.
Bro, we used to do some dumb stuff, but
We had fun.
man, we used to have fun like hell, man. Like that was like our weekend where we was just like, we know we going to a track meet, and we just gonna hang out and just have a blast. But yeah, man, I know for me, CJ made us run.
Yeah.
Like that was a big thing with our receiver coach. CJ was just like, oh, y'all gonna run track. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to necessarily participate in the meets, but he just wanted you to go out and do practice. So that's how I ended up, because I ran track in high school, so that's how I ended up getting into it.
Man, I got into shot putting because my freshman year in high school, I got kicked out of the last game. Got kicked out, fighting Jason Gathers. Well, I wasn't fighting. Wow. I punched Jason. So they was like, all right, well, he'll have to sit out a game next year, or he can go to another sport and sit out of that. So my coach was like, man, just go to a track. They have 4 track meets a week, so just go sit out a week and we'll be good. I said, okay, cool, no problem. So I signed up for track. And at the time, we had some defense, some players doing it. So I went over there, and my brother was throwing a shot put, and we had another dude named Caldwell. He was throwing a shot put. So I was like, me, I'm like, man, that's easy. Like, man, these jokers tripping. So I pick up the ball and just chunk it, right? So the coach was like, do that again. I'm like, what, throw this? I'm like, yeah, do that again. So I threw it again. He was like, do it one more time. If I throw it again. So he said, you can win state throwing a shot put if you join the team. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah. It's all right. So that's how I joined the track. And the thing is, I did end up winning state. I hold Florida State record in shot put, 6 to 8 feet. Wow. I could have been in the Olympics.
Makes sense, baby girl. Why she doing
Yeah,
that?
you know what I'm saying. I could have pursued it professionally. I was that good, you know what I mean? And that's how I got involved in it. So when I went to the University of Miami, they knew that about me. They're like, all right, you on the track team. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm with all my boys, okay, whatever, we go to track team. So
But that's the thing, they do their research on you.
Yeah.
They know, a lot of people don't know, like, Ed Reed was a conference champ for throwing the javelin.
Yeah, the javelin,
Yeah, so, like, we had a bunch of guys, man, that was very talented and just different, just not in football.
Football, right.
You know what I'm saying? But we had a bunch of guys that was real good at other things. At what point in coming into the NFL, I know for me it was my second year, where I felt like, you know what, I can really do this, like be dominant in this league. What point of your career did you feel like you was like, you know what, I belong?
my third year. I always knew I belonged, but I knew it took me a while because I was learning a new position.
Right.
I didn't know the position. I never heard. So my third year, that's when it finally hit me like, man, you can be dominant here. Like, you can be dominant here. And I remember one game, man, against Buffalo. Dude, they had me down for like 18 tackles. Like, insane, bro. Like, insane. And, here I am. I'm like, I had no idea. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just playing the game. And it was one of those games where I didn't feel like I did much. But they had me down for 18 tackles, bro. And at that moment, I'm like, holy crap. I can do this. I can be the best nose tackle there is. And from that day on, I started pushing myself and I started doing some stuff in my game. And like I said, I had to learn how to steal plays because I knew I wasn't going to make the TFLs and the sacks like I did in college because I don't play that position no more, right? So now it's like, okay, what can I do to offset that? So I went in every week saying, I need to find one play I can steal. Just one. That's it. Just one. And every week I would try to find that one. Sometimes I find them, sometimes I don't. But the ones I did find, you'll see they show up. You know what I mean? So that's how I started separating myself from being a regular nose tackle. It's like the playmaking ability, like being at a 0 or being at a 2 and being able to 2 gap and being able to backdoor something or spin out. I remember I had to play against Pittsburgh, and I knew it was play action all day. I knew it. And I hit Big Ben before he even got out the fake almost. My coach was like, boy, I'm like, dude, I knew it. Because I spent out, and soon he coming out the play fake, I hit him. And the back couldn't even get over to me because I was on his left side, my right side of him, and the back was on the opposite side. So when he faked to the back and tried to come up, and soon he turned. But that was a play I stole. Like, man, I'm like, if I ever get this situation in the game, this is what I'm doing because this is what they showed me. Nailed them. You know what I mean? So year 3, that's when I knew I was like, I'm about to take off.
Do you think, everybody talk about the Patriot way. Obviously going up there, you got to pay your dues, Super Bowl team coming out, being a young player. Do you think that kind of slows the process down or that prepares you more for the situation? Like, because a lot of guys come from there and they want to emulate the success. Free agents leave, their teams want to bring them in. Okay, can we get some of that to rub off on players? What you think kind of overall made that important over there?
I think, like I said, I just think the way it was ran.
It's doing the little stuff, just the little small stuff every day, discipline.
Because you got to understand, small stuff, 10 small things equal to big thing. See, everybody want to miss the process. Everybody want to jump straight to the big problem. You know what I'm saying? So How you gonna know what the big problem is if you ain't fixing 5 little things that's causing that big problem? So I can't go straight to the top because guess what? It's still gonna be effed up. It's just like if you're fixing the motor, right? You're not going to jump to the conclusion, oh, it's this. Well, you ain't check the spark plugs, you ain't check the tubes, you ain't check this, you ain't check that. All of that plays a big part in the main thing. And I think in New England, that's what it was all about. It was always the small things, hitting the nail in the small, getting the small things right. Because if you get all 11, all 22 on the same page with the small things, what's the goal? The big goal is winning, right? It takes care of that. But if we miss steps, that goal ain't gonna be accomplished, however you slice it. So it was big on, we're gonna do the small and the little things correct, and we're gonna be consistent doing it. And we're just gonna chip away, and you keep your head down. And that's why for 2 decades, it wasn't nothing but New England. Like, it's 2 decades, it's this you never heard of for 2 decades. And people wanna know why. It's like, cuz, the little things. We was consistent, and guess what? Whoever we brung in that wasn't used to it, we taught them. Either you're gonna learn it or you're gonna be gone. However you slice it. But a lot of people fell in line because the success. People like success. They love success story. They like to be consistent. Hey, they win. I want to be a part of that. What do y'all do to win? I want to know what that is. Well, you come here, you can learn it. Stay in your lane. But playing in New England, you had to be unselfish. You had to, because everything ain't gonna look pretty. It ain't gonna look pretty. You know what I mean? You're gonna be grind. It's gonna take a toll. But the end and the outcome, you get it, winning. You know what I mean? That's what we all play the game for, is winning. So a lot of guys can make it up there and some can't. I used to tell people all the time. I told Reggie, I say, hey, look, boy, I'm going to say, Reggie, you toward the end of your career, this ain't the place for you. Because I know how it's ran. And you old school, like, you're not there. You know what I mean? You're just not there. Physically, you're not there. You're not, 5, 6, 7 years younger. And he tried it. Yeah. Reggie said, I went to New York and they ain't come back. Yeah.
It's funny. He told me about that. He was like, he said, man, they different. Yeah. I was like, what? He was like, bro, it's different up there. And he was like, man, it's a grind.
It's a grind. 24/7.
And he told me that same story. He said he drove to New York. He said he never came back.
Never came back. But that's why I said it's a lot of people that if you're older in your career, or if you built a certain way, you can if you get them. But it wasn't made for like a veteran that's coming in that's used to a certain type of way, and then you basically stopping on your way out. Nah, man, because you're gonna work. I remember in 2007 when we lost our that's the first Super Bowl we lost. When I tell you, because that was the year that we was coming off of Spygate. When I tell you, that was the hardest year of practice. Like, he grind us like we was in college. I'm talking about put it on us. Put it on us. Listen what I'm telling you, Joe.
Pass 2 days a week.
Man, look here. It ain't you be in the pads.
Run period.
Yeah, you be in the pads. He grind us, man, till it was no end. I really think that's why we went undefeated, honestly, because we just kept our head down and we just worked. By the time we looked up, damn, we undefeated. We played the Giants, beat the Giants in the season. Now we in the playoffs. Damn, we undefeated. Now, that was the first time it really was talked about, we undefeated. Right. During the season, man, look here, we was worrying about this practice. Like you said, you walking in Monday, how I'm going to play Sundays. But around that time, it was like you walking in Thursday, man, how I'm going to play.
Right.
But it's because he was just grinding us. We looked up, me undefeated. So now it's like, all right, we can make history. That's when we first said that, because now we have to win. We lose now, we go home. So now we can make history, fellas. We can make history. And that was the first time we ever talked about it as a team, you know what I mean? And even Bill, because Bill would never make mention of that. But when we hit the playoff, he finally made mention. Hey, we on the history trail, basically. And that was all he said. Get together, we got something to do. You know what I'm saying? It was just short and sweet. Right. But we knew where he was coming from. We were man, yeah. So it was a beautiful feeling, but it's man, to lose it wipes all that away for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I say, I'd rather be home looking at it than being in it. Even though I was undefeated, but the feeling. Yeah. The feeling, that's what I can't get over.
Is that the hardest Super Bowl that you lost?
No,
No.
my third one. My second one to the Giants, that was the toughest for me. Yeah, because, you know, in 2007, that was my fourth year, so I was still like a youngin', you know what I mean, just coming into my prime. And that really wasn't my team. You know what I mean? We still had guys that's old heads around that I respected, and I felt, you know, hey, this is your team, I'm just going to. But the second Giants loss, that was my team. You know,
Way
that
more
was
vocal.
that was my team. There was young guys, like I was the big brother. You know, so when we took the field, that's my team. You know what I mean? When I talk to Bill, this is my team. You know, like I'll get my guys in. You know, I do that. You know what I mean?
Sure,
So,
yeah.
and then also that year we lost Myra Kraft. You know, very close to the Kraft family. So we lost her. So I'm like, man. And I remember the day before the game, my last meeting, I pulled up a film and I pulled up the Colts. I think it was their Super Bowl run. I pulled them up and I showed them basically all year the Colts was trash on defense. I mean, it was trash. But when they got in the playoff, they were the best defense in the playoff and they won the Super Bowl. And I had a bunch of young guys on my defense. So I had to always do something to keep them, you know, their mind locked and loaded. You know, so I showed that to them. And when I left that meeting, bro, I said it's impossible for us to lose. I just felt it. It's impossible because I had some teammates, the youngins, like they were ready to die, like, and they respected the game, like I had it. So when we lost that one hurt me. Like that one right there, the worst Super Bowl right there for me. That one messed with me to this day.
Right
Yeah.
And then you had Trail over there.
Oh my gosh. And you know, so now
You already know
another
how it
hurricane
goes.
playing against me. So it's like, man, like now I gotta hear his mouth beat me twice. I'm like, man. And then I gotta be like, man, Eli Manning beat me twice. I'm like, man, another Manning brother I gotta deal with. Like, man, bro, it was like so many things just falling. And I'm like, damn. Like we lost.
And they snuck in that one year in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was 07.
Yeah.
There was 9-7. There was a wild card.
Yeah.
And bro, when we knew it, man, when we knew we was playing the Giants, I'm like, oh baby. I'm saying to myself, man, we should go undefeated. We should have set this record. Because we went into the regular season, last game of the season, we played Miami.
Y'all played them, right?
No, yeah, that was the last game. The last game of the season, we played them, then we played them in the Super Bowl. But the last game of the season when we played them, we played the Dolphins the week before. We just kept the same game plan. It was because around Christmas time, right? Kept the same game plan. So I'm like, man, now we get a chance to game plan for them? Man, we could have thrown these jobs. Giants defensive line said something different.
Oh, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, like these, I never seen it. But Strahan had them boys ready to go. So it's like, they wanted them more. That's just what it is. They beat us up front.
Yeah.
That was the problem. They beat us up front. And I'm a big believer in winning those type of games. Your trenches have to be solid. You have to be able to control the line of scrimmage. In football in general. I'm big with that. Especially in a game like that. Yeah. And they were humping. Yeah. I'm like, I ain't never seen Strahan move that fast ever. Man, it's like his 28th year in the league, and man, he moving like man, look here. But
him and OC.
They was gone. Like, man, they came to play, man, and I have to take my hats off to them. And even with the catch, man, 9 out of 10 times when that ball dropped,
margin of error.
You see what I'm saying?
And Manningham, the one he dropped in the bucket.
Oh yeah, yes, on the cover 2, right? It's like I had to chalk that one up, though. I say, man, that's a great catch, a great throw, and a great coverage. He dropped that joke in the bucket. Yeah. But in that Super Bowl, honestly, that Super Bowl when he threw that ball, that was the third down, backed up. He threw that ball. I felt it. I felt the air starting to come out the balloon. I felt it. I said, so now I'm trying to rally my troops. And I remember going to Mayo. I said, Mayo, we got to let them score. And at that time, it was about 3 minutes left on the clock. And Mayo was like, I didn't get the signal. Man, the signal. Let them score. Because my mind going somewhere else. I'm like, man, we got
we got to get.
We got 2 timeouts. We got Tom Brady back there. Like, give him time so we won't have to rush. My mind was already there. So when we finally called it, we was up on the 2 minutes. So I'm like, man, if we would have just called it when I said call it, like, because you know how it is. When you play, you get a feeling of the game.
That's how it's gonna go.
You know what it,
Yeah.
you get. So I had that feeling. So I'm like, so I remember turning to Mayo and saying, man, desperado. And nah, Bill didn't give it to me. Man, they ran probably like 4 or 5 more plays, and then he called me. I'm like, now they down to the goal line. I'm like, a minute and a half late, too late now.
Yeah.
Because my thought process was, I feel it. I'm gonna beat them to the punch.
Yeah.
They in the middle of the field, they throw a slant, let them go. They ain't gonna be thinking.
Yeah. They ain't
Slant,
gonna be thinking
boom,
slant
I'm
from something.
Yeah, but now we get close to the goal line. Now they's like,
Now
they thinking the way I'm
with the
thinking now.
time.
Hey, they gonna. But Bradshaw, he didn't realize he tried to, but it was too late when he tried to. But their mind on it. Me, I'm already ahead of it.
Right.
I'm like, man, look here. But see, a lot of
Early,
people,
early.
Yeah, I'm early. I'm early because I felt it. You know,
Yeah.
I felt it. You know, so. That's just one of those things where you play the game, and when you play as long as we play, you start understanding and start getting the feel of the game and how it's going. You know what I mean? And I knew it. Yeah. I'm like,
Let's get away from football. Everybody don't get to see the fun side. So, my favorite video, well, I got 2. You walking in the locker room with them overalls.
Oh, yeah,
them
man.
boots on,
Yeah.
And then you was on the smoker.
yep, yeah.
Listen to Fat Pat.
Yeah, gonna be a baller. Yeah, Sakola. Yeah.
Actually, we got some. I've been fortunate to have some of your cooking, man. You throw down on that grill.
Dre, man,
and your barbecue sauce. You still got your barbecue sauce?
Man, look here. I got a barbecue sauce about to come out in 2025, baby boy. Blow your head off.
Okay. Yeah,
Blow your head off.
you got some good the barbecue sauce you gave me that time.
Oh yeah, it's and the crazy thing is about the one with me barbecuing, that was the year I tore my Achilles.
Okay.
So when I tore my Achilles, I said, I'm gonna build me a grill. I'm gonna build me a smoker. So that was the smoker. I mean, it was raggedy though. I mean, it was so raggedy, but it cooked though. You know what I'm saying? And I was jamming through my mule, man. I was flipping that thing. But yeah, that was my Achilles. My Achilles barbecue grill that I did there, man. And my overall, like so I used to have the ranch in Florida.
Right.
And anytime I go on my ranch, I put my overalls on and I go to work. You know what I mean? So I was like, once again, we was in camp, dog days, and I was like, man, I don't like the feeling. I said, we need to break it. Like we need some laughter. Like we need people to get loose. You know what I mean? So I said, I got something for the ass tomorrow. That's when I pulled up to the goddamn with my damn overalls on. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand. That's how I dress when I'm outside working. That's what I threw on when it wasn't for show or anything like that. I used to have all colors too. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I'm like, man, I'm in Houston too, baby. Nah.
But where does that come from? Like that side of you, like because a lot of people don't. Like if they don't know you, they wouldn't know that side of you.
Yeah.
You know, like. If somebody came and asked me, I'd be like, man, Big Pit's crazy in here. You know what I'm saying? Like
a lot of people get
like we laugh,
yeah.
we talk about it because we know you.
Yeah.
You know, so where would you say that comes from? Like,
you know, I just think it's growing up, how I grew up. I grew up around a bunch of clowns, and I love to laugh. You know what I mean? And I love to joke. So all my childhood, that's where I was. You know, I was one of those ones I love to play pranks. You know what I mean? Right. And I didn't know then, but as I got older, you know, I think that was kind of my outlet then because people got to understand. I've been doing grown men since I was 8, taking care of my father.
Right.
So I've been a lot of my childhood, you know, was taking care of my father, right? So I think that was like kind of part of my personality to get through what I was going through as a child. And as I got older, it just more and more and more.
So you had that brotherhood, and obviously everybody ain't gonna make the Hall of Fame and this and that. How happy was you though just to see Dre get into the Hall of Fame?
Oh man, I was thrilled, man. And I knew it was gonna happen. I mean, I think it was a little overdue, but at the same time, it was another accolade that he can wear with a badge of honor. You know what I mean? Like what he means to the game of football. And we talk about the game of football, like he's up there. And let's not talk about Houston and Miami. Like, one thing I always loved about Dre If you don't see Dre, you don't hear Dre. And even if you see Dre, you don't hear Dre. So Dre, he missing in action how he slicing. You know what I mean? But he's always been humble. And that's one of the things I've always talked about. And when people ask about Dre, like, man, Dre humble. You ain't gonna hear a peek out of him. He ain't finna be in no trouble. He ain't finna be in no mess. He ain't that type of person. And I always love that about him because it's so many people can do all of this. And they always want to be heard and their attention. Dre been like that ever since I met him. Dre don't have a bunch of posses. Like, nah. But I love that about him because he's well respected. See, when you're well respected, you don't have to do certain things. People know what it is, you know what I mean? His game speaks for itself, but off the field speaks for itself as well. He's just a good dude, man. And my brother, I love my brother. And I'm happy that my brother got in that thing because it was well deserved. And then he did that for the game of football. Dre got fans everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He got fans everywhere, but the game of football, that's a good one. They let a good one in, man.
Man, damn, that was tough there. I appreciate you.
It was like
saying
piggyback
that.
and give your credit. You know, when people don't understand in football, you know, like, because I was a guy, I was on the other team game plan, but you know, it's certain guys where they say, I wasn't the guy where they say, if you don't stop this guy, we ain't gonna win the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They saying when Dre out there, Vince,
Yep.
if we don't block Vince, we ain't got a chance.
Man.
If we don't stop Dre, we ain't got a chance.
And you got to understand, when I told Dre, when he came up there to Boston, I'm like, boy, we about to blow y'all head loose. You gonna catch yours. Because I could just picture Bill saying, hey,
You gonna concede something.
if he get off, we in trouble. Talking about Dre.
Yeah.
We need to cover him. We need to do blah, blah, blah. I knew the game plan.
But the crazy thing about it was what you predicted happened. Like, that's what threw me off. Because you was like, oh, you don't get you about 6 to 8 catches. He said, you have about 90 yards. But he's like, it ain't going to be nothing big. And I'm like, what? Like, and bro, I think I had about like 90 yards that game on probably like 8 catches. Yeah. But it was never nothing like it wasn't a catch to like change the game. It was just like
kept people around him.
Yeah.
Because we this is how we figured, right? We knew the offense went around Dre and Foster. That's what we knew, right? So we're like, listen, we can handle Aaron. We got him. Him, that's their only outlet. That's the only outlet. So we're like, listen, he gonna get some ball. That's just like you trying to go out MJ. Hey man, MJ gonna give you 40 when he want to. We got to give it to everybody else. We couldn't take both away. Yeah. So we knew he was going to get some, but we like Bill kept saying, we cannot let him turn this into a big play. He's going to catch some. We cannot afford him turning this to the big play. So loud and clear, Bill, we got you.
Yeah.
I say, but up front, because we were stronger up front. Like our strength was up front. So we like, run game, we good.
Yeah.
Like back in now, y'all got a monster coming down. I'm telling you now.
Just gonna roll it.
So they already like,
roll
it. So I already knew like, okay, you gonna get yours. It's okay.
Yeah.
But Arian, we can't let both of y'all get now. So we're gonna take Arian away. You're gonna get yours, and then we're gonna go on about our business.
Yeah, we're gonna be stout. We're gonna roll it 6 or 8 wherever you at. 6 or 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who would you say is your top interior D lineman all time?
Oh, all time. Oh, boy, you go all time. Ooh. See, I'm an old school guy. Like, I like Deacon Jones, because I like how he played, the mentality, and I don't want to take away from Mean Joe Green, like all these guys back in the days, those defensive linemen. Yes, like I love all of them. You know what I mean? So I can't just pick one. I can't pick one, because back in the days when I watched ball games, it's like, man, I seen film, and I seen how these guys, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steel Curtains, like I seen these guys play, so I already know, that's how I want to play. You know what I mean? So back in the day, I would have to say Steel Curtain, them boys, they played some football, man.
Was it one particular player, or I know you said Deacon Jones. I love Deacon Jones, man. I had a chance to meet him a few times and spend some time with him. He was a good dude, man. Just like his approach, like he had that football mentality. Even after he wasn't even playing football no more. He was like, I hate quarterbacks.
That's exactly,
that was his thing. I hate the quarterback, But was there a specific player or that you watched growing up that you was like, man, I want to be
Bruce
like
Smith. I grew up a Buffalo Bills fan. See, so my father was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I was a Buffalo Bills fan. My brother was a Giants fan. So I used to love seeing Bruce Smith. So I fell in love with the Bills. So I'm like, man, he good. I like him. I like him, you know. And all over years, you know. Even I got bigger and I moved in that D tackle, I still love Bruce Smith and I love the Bills. And I got a chance, like, I forget what year in my career, that I was in the Bahamas. And I'm walking out of a restaurant with my family and I heard somebody say, Big Vince. So I turned around. Who the hell calling me? So I turned back around. Big Vince. Man, I'm in the Bahamas now. I'm like, man, what kind of fan messing with me? So I was like, damn, that looked like Thurman Thomas. So he started walking towards me. I'm like, dang, that's Thurman. Now, mind you, I'm a Bills fan. It's Thurman Thomas. Bro, I was like a little kid. Now, mind you, this is probably year 6, 7 in the league, right. So I still haven't met any of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like now I come back to a little kid. Right. It's Thurman Thomas. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, man, I'm the biggest fan. Woo, 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 woo. He like, man, I'm a big fan of you. I'm like, man, no, I grew up. So I got a chance to meet Thurman, and then after that, he had a surprise birthday party in Mexico. I got a chance to meet all of them. Yeah. Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, all the Bills that I grew up watching. Yeah. You know what I mean? I told them, I'm like, man, y'all just don't know. Like, I grew up loving the Bills because of y'all. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it was like about 15 of them that like Cornelius Bennett, like. It was the squad. Yeah, all the guys like Darryl Talley, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, like I grew up watching you, like y'all was my heroes growing, you know what I mean? So that was pretty cool, you know. But Bruce Smith was the one guy I was like, man, I love his game.
Yeah, man, we surely, man, appreciate you for coming through, man.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
With us, man. Great to see you, man. Love you, brother.
I love you guys, brother. I know that.
Great to see you, man, and just appreciate you coming through, chopping it up.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Chopping up like old time.
Kaka, man, you're national treasure, man. I see how they treat you up there in the Bahamas, man. Texas and Bahamas spring break the same time. All those Boston people, I'm like, what's going on up here?
Yeah, them Bostonians crazy, boy. But they football fans, so I love all fans. I love the Texans. That's one thing. Before we stop, I know we talked a lot about, you know, my career in New England, but I would say this: the reason I came to Houston to play for the Texans is because of the people. I never felt the type of love, you know, from people. It's like how I grew up. You know what I mean? Like the people here in Houston, man. That's where I reside here. I mean, I don't want to leave it. You know what I mean? Because the people. The much love they always show me. They embrace me from day one. So I definitely want to get that out because I don't want that to go unnoticed, that how much I love and appreciate H-Town for sure.
Man, you know what's crazy about you saying that? 2 guys from Florida, and we both say the same thing. Like, I love it here, bro. Man. The love you get, the way they embrace you, man. It's this city. Like I said, I don't want to leave. Yeah,
it's genuine, bro. It's real deal, man. So I love it.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, big
Thank you, guys.